Well, guys, it's just been way too long. Yo, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Phillies Hot Stove Media. Wow, it has certainly been a while here, ladies and gentlemen. It's been way too long. First video of 2024. I just disappeared. I just fell off the face of the earth. And here I am on July 12th of 2024 making my first video of the year. And now, guys, before we get into this video, please subscribe if you have not yet. Please turn on the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and let's get into this. Wow, I mean, this year I have so much to talk about. First of all, I have so much to talk about. I really miss you guys. This channel really has not been normal the past 2 years, and it's just so many things have changed in my life. I mean, I started this way back in 2019. I started it 5 years ago, so much has really changed since then. I did every single game for 4 years, almost 4 years. Obviously I did, take a pretty long break last year. I announced that I was not going to be coming back at all in 2023. That was in April, and then I came back in the postseason because, that's that's the time to come back. And unfortunately we fell short to the Arizona Diamondbacks, and that was the last video I made. Was me talking about the loss to the Arizona Diamondbacks, and that was such a crushing loss because that hurt so bad. That hurt so badly because we got a taste of it in 2022. We made it to the World Series against the Houston Astros. That really was painful. Especially to go up 2-1 and then lose in Game 6. That was really it was a Cinderella season, but we were so close to finishing off with a win. World Series win that just to fall short like that, it really was painful. And then we come back in 2023, and we have a better record than we did in 2022. I would say it was definitely a better season. We definitely were a better team on paper, and unfortunately we just fell short in the championship series, and that's what happens. I mean, we were definitely a better team than the Arizona Diamondbacks, but the better team doesn't always win, as we've seen time and time again in postseasons past over the course of history of baseball. Most recently over the past 5 years, with the Atlanta Braves, with the Washington Nationals winning the World Series. Clearly their opponent was better than them on paper, and had a better record in regular season, and it didn't amount to anything in the World Series as they came up short. As the Atlanta Braves and Washington Nationals both beat the Houston Astros both in 2019 and 2021, and the Astros had better seasons in the regular season. It's clearly had better seasons. So what you do in the regular season, just as long as you get there, doesn't matter as much. But that really was painful. Here in 2024, ladies and gentlemen, holy cow. I mean, I don't even know where to even start here because it's just been so long since I talked to all of you guys, and I usually don't. I never really liked doing shout-outs all that much, but I like to shout out a guy like Ethan, who's just been with me every step of the way, who has followed this channel for pretty much since I'm going to say 2020 or 2021, during the prime time of this channel, when it really was firing at all cylinders. I just have so much to talk about. I mean, this team is as good as 2011 and more. I mean, this season reminds me so much of 2011. Hopefully it ends better than the way 2011 ended. I mean, that was such a horrible finish for the Phillies in 2011 against the St. Louis Cardinals when they lost in the division series and Ryan Howard towards Achilles. That was like the end of that era, of that 07 to 11 era. With the Phillies, that was such a horrible way to end it. But this team, I mean, 61 wins this year already. I mean, best record in the majors, best winning percentage. I mean, we haven't seen a team this good. I mean, I not even sitting here talking. I never had, since having this channel. I mean, it's kind of been off and on. I mean, am I even still active? And I haven't made a video in like 10 months. But since having this channel, I'll say. I've never been able to sit here and talk about a Phillies team that has been this good in the regular season. I mean, it is amazing. Like, we are so good. We have so many weapons, on both sides of the game. I mean, our rotation is amazing all the way down from Zach Wheeler all the way down to Chris Sanchez, and even Tylan Walker. I mean, as much as he's hated so much in the city, I mean, he's not that good, but. I mean, he's the number 5 guy. He's not treacherous. I mean, he doesn't put up great numbers, but I mean, it's what you expect out of your number 5 guy. I mean, that's a pretty darn good number 5 guy. I mean, this rotation is outstanding. I mean, we have so many weapons offensively, and Trey Turner right now is just on like another. Is just in another world. He's amazing right now. I mean, I was a little bit surprised he made the All-Star team, considering the fact that he missed some time, with the hamstring issue. But Nevertheless, I mean, he's proven that he deserves to be an All-Star. I mean, ever since getting that standing ovation last year at Citizens Bank Park, I mean, he's really just been lights out. He's really just been truly amazing. He's really showed up and really lived up to that contract that we gave him in the 22-23 off season. He has really showed up, and he's really produced at a high level ever since then. Because like the first 81 games of 23, he really was really underperforming. So it's really great to see him playing up to that level that we all hoped that he'd play up to. The thing that I love about this team is that game against Miami a couple weeks ago, and Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber both went down with injury. I mean, that was such a tough night. I mean, first of all, we should have won that game. That was the bullpen just totally blew it. I mean, we had a nice comfortable lead and we just totally gave it away. But that's just besides the point. But I mean, Kyle Schwarber, who's primarily a DH, playing out left field, and he injures himself with the groin, and then it's just such a meaningless at bat in the bottom of the ninth inning. I mean, it wasn't meaningless. I mean, it was 2 outs bottom of the ninth. Bryce Harper grounds out to second, and tweaks his hamstring. I mean, that was such a just a frustrating night. I mean, not only did we lose in difficult fashion by blowing the lead to the Miami Marlins, the measly and pathetic Miami Marlins, who are in last place and are really just a shell of the team they were last year when they made the third wild card spot against us. And we swept them out in 2 games. But anyway, I mean, I think when Schwarber, I mean, first of all, everybody thought Harper would miss significant time. Everybody thought that Harper would miss a good month and a half. He only missed about 2 weeks, so that was like best case scenario for the Phillies right there. And I think when that happened, I think everybody thought not the Philly season wasn't over, but it was going to be a tough hill to climb. And we just kept grinding during those 2 weeks. I mean, Nick Castellanos, he really stepped up during these 2 weeks. Like he really started to pick up the slack. And Trey Turner came back shortly before that. And that just goes to show you the depth in this team. We've never seen it before ever. And for years after years after years of me sitting here talking, about how this team step. I mean, we have it now, and we're just loaded. I mean, we're just good. I don't know how else to say it. There's good teams and there's bad teams. We're amazing. We have so many weapons. And I guess luck does certainly play a role in this. Especially when it comes to injuries and things like that. But we didn't skip a beat hardly at all. I mean, we really didn't. Nick Castellanos, I mean, he really stepped up, especially after he's had a down year. I mean, clearly. I mean, he was an all-star last year. He did not have a good first year of the contract in 22. He was an all-star last year, but this year has been not so easy for him. But he's been pretty good over the last month or so, and he really stepped up his game when Harper and Schwarber went down. So to have those 2 guys back, I mean, Harper, I mean, he did, play the first night against the Dodgers on Tuesday night. Of course, he did go 0 for 4. Hit the ball hard the first time. Of course, he did have that little wrist discomfort, so he sat on Wednesday. And then he was back last night, hit a little infield single. He hasn't really done much since coming back. Give him time. You got to give him time. And that's the thing I love about this team. I mean, even though Harper was back, this against the series against the Dodgers that we swept, by the way. I'll get to that in a second. Even though he was back in the series, he didn't really do all that much, and we still swept out the Dodgers. I mean, the second best team in the National League. A team that has been potent for 11 years. Has been one of the best teams in baseball. And, clearly hasn't had much to show for it in the postseason. But this has been one of the most potent NL teams for a very long time. And, we swept them out, very easily. It really wasn't much of a fight. I mean, Wednesday night's game, I say, was, the biggest fight of them all. But we really didn't have too much of a struggle against these guys. And without our best player, he was, in the race for another MVP award. So the other question is, so I'll get to the Dodgers series in a little bit, but Bryce Harper, who won the MVP back with Washington in 2015 and won an MVP, won MVP with the Phillies back in 2021, is now in the mix for another NL MVP. So Shohei Ohtani, I mean, clearly has had a masterful season. Obviously, he's not pitching this year, only DHing. But he's really put up amazing numbers. He didn't really have that good of a series against us, but he's put up amazing numbers this year. Better than Bryce Harper's, definitely. But the only thing is, and as most baseball fans know, it's very hard for a designated hitter to win the MVP. It's very, very challenging because you're forgetting about the other side of the game. and a really interesting thing I find about Harp is that the guy is just a generational talent, right? I mean, he's most likely going to be a Hall of Famer. And this guy, I mean, when do you ever see a superstar talent change his position mid-career and just adapt to it like that? He didn't even skip a beat. Like, he went over to first base. It didn't even phase him. It didn't even phase him. You know, like, the guy transitions from being a right fielder to first baseman. And he just takes it like nothing. It's just another game for him. You know, he's done such a good job at first base. He's really just been amazing. Now, he did have a blunder last night against, with Freddie Freeman, but, we all make mistakes. I mean, even the professionals. But I think that he's really handled the transition amazing. And I think that has to kind of play a part in it too. He's been a very good defensive first baseman this year. And you have to remember the other side of the game. So when Bryce Harper went down with that, with that hamstring, I'll call it a tweak. We thought it was going to be a long-term injury. Everybody just thought that, now he's out of the race for MVP. I mean, he already has 20 home runs. Can he hit 40 this year? I mean, Harper's always known for for having the most home runs towards the tail end of the season. You remember in 2019, when he, I'm going to say late July, early August, he only had 17 or 18 home runs, and he finished the year with 35. So he kind of, over the last month and a half to 2 months, he really picked up the long ball. So usually as the season goes on, Harper's home runs go even more. So just give him some time. He's only been back 2 games. Give him some time to adapt to being back, and I think you're going to see that that power come back. I mean, he was just on cloud 9 when he went on the IL. But I have to say, I mean, this MVP race with Shohei and Bryce, it's going to be interesting to see how it ends. But Harper definitely has a good case. I mean, transitioned from being a right fielder to a first baseman and has handled the transition wonderfully. And I don't really think anybody's really talking about it. Amazing. Outstanding. How well Harper has handled that transition. When do you ever see it? This isn't some platoon player. I mean, this is a generational talent. This is a superstar. One of the faces of baseball just changes his position like it's nothing. He's handled it super, super well. So the Phillies sweep out the Dodgers in 3 games. Just again, outstanding. I mean, you have one of the best teams in the National League coming in here, and you make a big statement. And everybody, on ESPN was saying, "Oh well, the Dodgers had some significant injuries, with Mookie Betts and this, that, and the other thing." It's we weren't depleted a little bit. I mean, first of all, even though Bryce Harper was back, he really didn't do anything at all. Basically, he wasn't even there the whole series. He only got 1 hit. It was an infield single last night. And then you have JT Muto has been out for about a month or so. He's going to be coming back very soon. So we weren't affected with injuries either. And I do think that maybe the Dodgers' injuries are a little bit worse than the Phillies, but it's not that far off. So you can't just make it seem like they kept making excuses for the Dodgers, which I didn't think was right. Clearly they are outplayed in the series. We are clearly the better team. I think we're better than them. I really seriously think we're the best team in the National League. Hands down. Now, I think if the Braves were fully healthy, I think it'd be debatable, but I don't know. I mean, I've never been this confident about this team in a very, very long time. I've not. I mean, our rotation is just Ranger Suarez, what a year he's had. I mean, just fantastic. I mean, fantastic. I mean, just it's amazing. I mean, 7 All-Stars? 7 All-Stars? Going to Arlington? I mean, my goodness. I mean, this is just back in the good old days, ladies and gentlemen. This team is just amazing. I mean, it's really just amazing. The amount of weapons on this team, I'm blown away by how good this team is this year. So, round of applause for the Phils. I mean, it just, again, it's the regular season. We'll see what happens in October. I mean, so the other question is the World Series a bust? Because clearly we have knocked on the door of another one of these. We've knocked on the door of another one of these. Are we going to get it this year? I mean, I don't know. I mean, a lot of it's luck. I mean, clearly you have to go out. You have to go out there on the field and play. But I hope so, guys. I really hope so. I mean, this is just a magical season. I mean, this is just amazing. I mean, just dominance, pure dominance. Bullpen that has just hasn't been this good in so long. I mean, clearly there's still some issues. Alvarado has not had the greatest of seasons. But look at Matt Strom. Look at Jeff Hoffman. It just came out of nowhere. Jeff Hoffman especially just came out of nowhere and just he's a closer. He's a closer for the best team in baseball. Phillies did release, not DFA, release Whit Merrifield this afternoon. So David Dombrowski just gone. I like it. I don't like it. Taking no prisoners there, David Dombrowski. I mean, nothing personal, but I mean, come on. I mean, this guy was not having a good year. Dreadful. I mean, he was a dreadful defender. Just terrible. It's a shame that didn't work out. I really thought that would, but it didn't. It really didn't. So Guys, I hope to be back soon. I don't think you're not going to see me take that long break. I said that last time. I really mean it. You won't see me take that long break again. I don't know what's going to happen here. I just want to make a video. I still have the channel. Wanted to make a video. You know, and I had to talk about this team. I really had to talk about this team because it's amazing. It really is just amazing. So guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. Please turn on the notification bell. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video. Check out the Instagram, Phillies Hot Stove Media. So guys, thanks so much for watching. I am Luke, and I'll talk to you later. I mean, maybe I think it's an easy series. Clearly, an easy series against the Oakland Athletics. I'll be there tonight. 6:40 the first pitch against the A's. As Suarez takes them down 10-3 with a 2.58 ERA. So you know he hasn't been great the past couple of starts, but hopefully he can bounce back today. I mean, it's the A's, so maybe come on. I mean, you got to win this game. So guys, thanks so much for watching. I am Luke, and I will talk to y'all later. Let's go Phils! See you guys.